Nerd to the Third Power presents Fools Who Ride. The Dreamstone, Part 2.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Fools Who Ride, brought to you by Nerd to the Third Power. I am your game master for this evening, this afternoon, or whatever the hell you're listening to this. I am Mike the Birdman Dodd from ThisWeekInGeek.net and TerribleWarriors.com, and we are continuing our adventures with Fools Who Ride, the Dreamstone. Our first hour has just passed, and we have met Lord and Lady Kilsh of the city of Cambridge, which is currently experiencing a rash of bad dreams and potentially more as our adventurers are trying to figure out who could be behind the theft of the Dreamstone several weeks ago, as the populace is starting to figure out, hey, something's kind of fucked up here. But I am, of course, continuing along with my adventures from last time, beginning in the city of Baltimore, I want to say you're from?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah, that's you! Say your name and character again.
I'm Dr. Gonzo, and I'm playing Marcus Hawk, a level human fighter.
And we're also going with our anime goddess who's using a neti pot.
Hi, I'm Kat Thompson with a lot of allergies during this recording, and I am playing Lenore Longfellow, a level 3 Plague Doctor Cleric.
And of course, it wouldn't be Nerd to the Third Power without a person who lives in a castle, I just found out.
I actually do, it's true. It's Skyblaze, and I am playing Alisaria Sunshadow, a level 3 High Elf Paladin.
Excellent. All right, so let's get back to it. From whence we last left off, we were in the study/laboratory of Mari, but also joined by Lady and Lord Kilsh as they were telling them what's going on with the Dreamstone. We were just trying to figure out who could possibly be behind the theft and what they stand to gain from that. We've learned about Ordo, which seems to be a group of sorcerers and wizards to the south who are magical muscle. Do they stand to gain anything by doing this? Also, the Thieves Guild in town with Jarus, the half-orc, who gets along with the city, though only so far as it's in his self-interest, and maybe even a water witch known as Thera. She's a pirate who steals from the rich and gives to the poor, but people tend to like her. So what are you guys going to do as you're sitting on this couch discussing and talking amongst yourselves about the goings-on in the city of Cambridge?
Well, I find it best that if we're going to discuss plans, it'd be with full bellies. So I think we should break for lunch and discuss what we're going to do and let the lords know that we're going to get right on their problem.
I actually have a few more questions, if that's all right.
Okay, all right.
I would like to know what the results have been after this Dreamstone was stolen. We understand that it gave people good dreams, and I'm curious as to what has happened since it's been missing.
Mari goes, well, that's a bit of a mess, to say the least. Some people are just dreaming as normal. Some people haven't even really noticed. Other people have had quite the opposite effect, actually. We've had some people literally go stark raving mad. Those people have been kept under our gentle care in our dungeons below. We take very, very good care of them, I might add. But we can't have mad men, mad women running in the streets. And unfortunately, we've had more than a few murders that our town's guard has had to deal with, which is highly unusual. But that was the most immediate effects. Right now, we're just trying to keep a lid on it as best we can. We're hoping the festivities of the Festival of Fall Harvest will keep people distracted enough while you adventurers deal with things.
Can I make a medicine check to see if this madness sounds like any disease I might know of?
Sure.
That is a 23.
Judging from what you've heard, I mean, there are certain chemicals that could cause this, potentially, naturally occurring. Potentially, not not likely given the situation, as this likely is aiming to be a magical effect, but you could concoct several solutions, potions, or otherwise. I don't know how to phrase this any other way. You could concoct some pharmaceuticals that could potentially suppress one's ability to dream. You could do that. That's a possibility.
Okay.
So,
Lenore, do you think it'd be worth examining one of these madmen?
Possibly, although if the madness is magically induced or as a result of some sort of dreams, then probably the best thing to do is find the stone faster.
Has it been attempted to scry for the stone's location?
Ooh, excellent question.
Mari goes, we've tried, but every time we get, there's no other way to describe it. We can't see anything but obscuring mist, and then we see this. It's almost like something from one of the planes is preventing us from seeing it. Maybe not necessarily a god or a goddess, but something.
Okay. Mike, can I make a perception check to see if any of the nobles in the room show dark circles under their eyes or signs of sleepless nights?
Yes.
19.
You look at both all the people in the room. All of them seem a little bit worn down. Lorella seems to be holding it together better than most.
Okay.
Braden is trying to hide it by being over jovial. And Mari's she's wore out. She's just about dealt with enough of this shit.
Okay. Mari, may I ask a question just out of random curiosity?
Of course.
It's been mentioned that some in the town have had disturbing dreams. Would you be one of them?
Well, where would I even begin to start with that? Yes, considering some of the texts and stuff that I'm exposed to, having bad dreams is not unusual given someone of my position and power.
Have you been dreaming about anything specific lately? Specifically, a four-winged, bird-beaked hell beast and the death of all good things.
That particular, she kind of looks like you kind of caught her off guard with that. She's like, early on, yes. It was this winged creature just rampaging through the streets of the city, just killing anything indiscriminately with something backing it. I don't know what it is. It could be a death knight. I don't know. Pit fiend. Could be anything. I don't know. Something definitely not of this plane of existence, however.
Okay, that satisfies my curiosity.
Has anybody left Cambridge and come back in this time since the stone's been missing?
We've had a few people leave town just saying maybe it's time they take their business elsewhere. For the most part, a lot of people are staying as they're hoping this is just a temporary hiccup.
I see.
But nobody of note, no. Actually, hold on a moment. Lorella looks at Braden. She goes, well, whatever happened to Clovis? He never came back.
Clovis?
Braden goes, yes, Clovis. He was one of my best knight captains. One of my best friends, in fact. We kind of grew up together. He chose the sword, and well, life chose me, as you might imagine. He had gone missing off on an adventure. He's been gone a few months. I'm afraid to tell him what's happened since he's been gone, however. He doesn't know it, but his family passed away a little while ago.
Okay. I want to make a history check, see if the name Clovis is familiar to me.
Okay.
17.
You've heard the name. You know this person as a particularly skilled fighter. But that's all you've really heard. You've heard the name in Baldur's Gate.
But I couldn't put a face to it?
Yeah, you couldn't put a face to it. He's kind of like, yeah, that Clovis guy. Yeah, he kicked the shit out of that dude. But you couldn't say anything more about him other than he's really competent.
Okay.
Pardon my asking, but how did his family pass?
Mari goes, this is where things get messy. So you know how I said there's been a rash of murders?
I see.
Well, they were the victims of one of them. We don't know who did it, but there wasn't a lot left to bury. The wife tried to protect their little girl, but she was cut down brutally.
Whew. My condolences.
Well, if nothing else, we need to find at some point we need to find out who that miscreant is and bring them to justice.
Indeed.
She, Mari says, you said you might want to speak to one of the madmen?
Possibly, yes.
We have one. We don't, but if you speak to them, Lorella's like, please don't. And they kind of have a back and forth, and you get the idea that maybe this is one madman they don't want you talking to. But Braden kind of stands up, and just all demeanor of him being a good guy just goes away for just half a second. And he's like, stop! If they have to talk to Neslo, then that's how it has to go.
Is this someone you were familiar with before he became unwell?
My eldest son.
I'm very sorry.
I'm gonna turn on the charisma and say, my lords, I am terribly sorry that this has affected you so directly. You have my word that anything that we observe with Nezla will be kept in the strictest of confidence.
I expect no less.
So, Lenore, I guess you take point on this one whenever you're ready. Do you need us to come with you in case something happens?
I think we should all be there together.
I think that's a good idea as well.
All right.
All right, so Mari leads you downstairs through a series of corridors. There's different areas of differing security, but eventually you're led into what essentially would be their deepest part of the dungeon, and only a few people seem to be kind of getting through. So you're led to a room that's fairly well maintained, decorated. You see a kid in the corner. He's dressed fairly ordinarily, but you see two patches of gauze over his eyes. Anybody wish to make a perception check?
Yes, please.
All right.
14.
You notice the gauze around his eyes is bloody.
Uh-oh.
You would surmise, with a fair degree of certainty, he's probably clawed his own eyes out.
Okay.
And judging by the level of proficiency with magic here, Mari notices you seeing the gauze. He goes, every morning he does it again. I keep putting his eyes back. He keeps taking them back out.
Okay.
You've just stopped.
Is he restrained?
No, he's just in his cell. There's food and water in there and a bed.
Okay. I'd like to make a perception check to see if he decides to get froggy, how badly this could go. Natural 20.
His attitude right now seems rather calm.
What about his physical condition? Is he in good
health? Yes.
Okay. Does he look tough enough to cause severe injury if he goes wild?
If he got his hands around your neck, he could cause you some trouble.
Okay.
As we are walking to our destination, I would like to be, if you'll allow me, ritual casting a spell.
Okay.
I would like to ritual cast detect poison and disease.
Okay.
Likewise, I would like to turn on my divine sense, which allows me to detect good and evil, and I can sense anything affected by a hallow spell, or I will know the location of any celestial fiend undead within.
All right, so Alarisa, you sense evil, bad evil, like bad juju.
Yeah, you will. My two colleagues, you will both see me kind of like suddenly like my spine stiffens as though, and I look like something like a cat who's just like arched its back and puffed its tail out.
Okay. Mike, given my prior history with Alisaria, do I notice this?
Yes.
Okay.
You notice her posture changes, the air changes in the room. Lenore, as you cast your ritual detect poison,
And disease.
and disease, you don't detect anything immediately. You get the feeling maybe there's others upstairs that are unwell, but immediately towards you, no.
Alisaria, you pick up something?
Something evil in here.
You think
Very, very evil.
Do you think things might get froggy?
I don't know. Does it feel like more of an effect, or it's like something laid over someone, or if it's actually the embodiment of someone? Does that make sense?
You can feel this thing in the room. Like there's this dark, oppressive weight. It's almost to the point where the other people who aren't divine, you feel a heaviness in the room.
Okay.
It's like a thick blanket over everything.
Like
Okay.
everything feels like you're moving through a thick soup.
Okay. Just to be safe, I'm going to strap on my shield, but I'm going to keep my sword sheathed for now out of respect for our hosts. Understanding that, explain to them that this is simply for safety's sake. Do I need to roll a persuasion check on that?
Nope.
Okay, so they take me at my word then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who all is with us as we go to this place?
Just
Is it
Mari.
just
She's kind
Mari?
of hanging towards the back of the room. So you three are right in front of Neslo's cell. As the three of you are sitting there deciding what to do next, Neslo's head slowly turns, and if he had eyes, you can definitely feel him looking at you. And just this low, guttural laughter, almost as if you could hear a human laugh, and something underneath that just comes out from this boy no older than 18.
You guys hear that too, right? That's not just me.
Nope.
Mari kind of looks at you and kind of starts backing up towards the door.
Okay.
Neslo, oh, whatever it is, wearing his skin.
It stops. This creepy smile comes across Neslo's face, and what you were expecting is a white smile, but instead you see these rotted black teeth, and just this stuff is just viciously dripping out of its mouth, as if unnatural.
Oh.
He slowly rises to his feet, walks towards the cell door, and just whispers, "Speak, Paladin."
Before she speaks, I will cast guidance on the paladin.
Okay, what does that do?
It's you touch a willing creature once before the spell ends. For up to a minute, you can roll a d4 on an ability check one time, just in case. So if you need a little extra boost, if you are making an ability check.
Okay. The spell goes off without a hitch. And you've just got this rather normal-looking 18-year-old with just this black, oily substance just oozing out of its mouth, these black, rotted teeth. The blood from his gauze seems to be getting more and more intense. It starts dripping from his eyes.
Lovely. All
Who
right,
are you?
It just kind of chuckles. The one who will bring it all down. I have walked the 9 hells. I dwell in the abyss. I will take my rightful place, but not before I take the soul of each and every soul that dwells within these city limits. All good intention, all love, all compassion will bleed.
I'm going to lean forward slightly. Not while I draw breath. Turn the unholy.
Okay. Do I get a resistance to that?
Yeah, you must make a wisdom saving throw, DC 11.
Okay. Ties go to the defender, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Neslo doesn't move and seems only more enraged.
That's worrying.
He starts breathing more and more heavy. The room, all the candles in the room that give it light start to dim a little bit.
I will
Out!
pull out.
Everyone out now!
I pull out my radiant mace to shed more light.
Even
That's
your
our
mace seems dim.
that's our cue to leave.
That's our cue to do something.
He starts screaming that nobody will ever sleep again. They will drown in their own blood. He starts cackling, laughing, claws his eyes out again and starts tearing flesh from his face.
Jesus.
Mari slams the door, bolts it shut, and goes, and that's what we've been dealing with for the last month and a half.
This is demonic. This is a fiend of some description. It talked about the hells.
The abyss. Yeah, that is. That boy is possessed, yes?
I'm pretty certain, yeah. I've seen minor possession before, but nothing like this.
Well, Lady Mara, it seems we need to get started. So,
Yeah.
with that, I was told that you would have accommodations for us.
She goes, yeah, come upstairs, we'll get you sorted in the guest wing. So she leads you throughout the estate. She leads you to a set of nice rooms, all adjacent to each other. Nice beds, like those huge canopy beds, roaring fireplaces. Each of you has a servant boy or servant girl assigned to you, and they'll take care of you for the rest of the day. Mari goes, I have some other business to conduct. If you have any more questions, you can summon me from the front hall, and I'll be along as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
And she takes her leave.
But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pray quite hard.
Yeah. I am going to ritual cast detect poison and disease, since I know that there was something pinging further away.
You feel disease, actually. You're not sure what, but you can feel it close.
I'm wishing that I had a flask of beer on me, because I could use a stiff one after that display. Alright,
I have
so
some rubbing alcohol if you need some.
I'm not that desperate. Not that stiff. Okay, so
Can I roll a religion check and see if I, based on the very little information I've got, I realise it's probably ridiculous, but it's like, is there any kind of avenue I can explore? Because clearly this thing is fiend or demon or something.
I would like to make a religion check as well.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
The religious sisters are over here making some religious rolls.
I know, right?
19 total for me.
Okay.
16 total for me.
All right, so, Lenore, judging from what you know from your church's kind of background and your holy order, it's definitely from the 9 hells. It did mention the abyss specifically. Outside of that, you couldn't narrow it down to any one particular entity, but definitely demonic. definitely something that should be taken seriously. And dare I say, you're probably punching above your weight class here.
Mm. This may be a little over our heads here. We may be in for a little more trouble than we were promised.
Okay. Oh, sorry. What about you? What are you picking up?
That thing was one of the most evil things I've ever sensed.
Agreed.
I grant you I'm fairly young for a paladin, but still. Maybe we should research this some more. Is there a decent religious library in the city, do we know?
Yes, there's the Church of Mistar and the Church of Lathander are the two dominant ones. And Mari would have some religious texts in her laboratory as well, though they may not be as extensive.
Okay,
It's
so
worth trying there first, then.
all right. Well, let's recap what we know so far. So we've got possible we definitely know there's something demonic, but we don't know if it's acting on its own or if it's with or on behalf of someone else. We have a hostile ruling power that doesn't want anything to do with this city. A Dreamstone that's been stolen. Suspects including said hostile power, a water witch, and possibly dwarves from outside the city. And everyone will drown in blood if we don't fix what's going on. Does that sound like an accurate summation of everything that we know so far?
I would say so.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we think
If
that
this is a god's testing our resolve, then they have no sense of proportion.
yes, this does seem kind of like a cruel joke. Do we have any when we were questioning the Lord and Lady earlier, we seemed to think that maybe they were the ones being targeted. But now, after speaking to whatever that was, it sort of seems like this whole city is the target.
So then the question becomes why?
Well, the artifact itself was a gift from the goddess. Maybe it's strike back at the goddess, trying to offend her or attack her somehow.
Oh, that's not bad. If whatever that was, that creature of the nine hells and the abyss had some sort of grief with the goddess, then yeah, I could see.
Actually, that reminds me. Skyblaze still had a check going on her religious background regarding the demon downstairs that never got resolved.
Lenore had a higher rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still know what you know, but you do have several different avenues of research available to you.
Okay.
I think it's once we've rested a little, I think it's time we hit the book.
I think we could utilize Mari if she is knowledgeable about this goddess. She might know if the goddess had enemies.
Okay. So
yeah, hitting some books would be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and while you guys do that, I'm going to mingle amongst the people, see if I can't run down one of the Fireforged dwarves, see if they know anything about Ordo or any of the other strange goings on, and see if I can't find some information that maybe the nobles couldn't have given us.
Try to stay out of gambling dens.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So the party's going to stay together, correct?
No. I'm splitting off to go hit the crying jester and get some info.
This is Gonzo's first time playing D&D. He doesn't know the number. Never split the party.
Oh, you fool! Okay. So we will resolve Gonzo first then. Okay, so Marcus, you make your way towards the downtown, towards the crying jester. It's still, the day has moved a little bit forward. It's probably into late afternoon. You've passed through the city square. The festival of the fall harvest is starting to get in swing. You see bards singing in the street. You got people dancing. You got people serving their versions of street food, stuff like that. It's a fairly, the town seems pretty upbeat despite what's kind of going on. So you head down to the Crying Jester, which is the more established of the establishments. You walk in.
Do I see my retainers anywhere?
No, actually. You do see two gnomes tending the bar. You presume they're the ones that run the place. They're actually tending the bar on stilts so they can be level with you.
Okay. I'll sidle up to the bar and order a drink and ask if they've seen a trio of rather squirrely-looking retainers around anywhere.
All right, so a gnome comes up towards you, introduces himself as Edley, and he's like, "Good afternoon, fine sir. What can I do for you?"
I'll have a mug of your best beer. And did you see three rather squirrely-looking squires come in earlier today?
Oh yeah, we booted those assholes out.
Oh God.
My God, they were just causing all sorts of trouble. One puked all over my floor. He starts laughing. He looks at his wife. I got her name here. Just give me a sec. Way to break up that scene, Michael. He looks at his wife, Janessa. He goes, starts laughing at her. One of her puked in her hair.
Oh.
She's like, "I hate you. I hate you so much." And she storms off. He goes, "No, seriously, those 3 assholes, we kicked them out this afternoon."
Did you happen to see where they went?
Out my fucking door. No, I haven't seen them since. But let me tell you, I've never seen 3 lads drink so much. They started doing some of the, he kind of leans into you, under-the-counter specials, you might say.
Oh, Lord. Moses.
But one of them tried to take one of my wenches out here. I didn't go so well. Man, that kid is not going to see under a woman's skirt for generations, I promise you. Not a ladies' man. Not in the least.
I am so sorry for their trouble, and I passed them a gold piece for his trouble.
Whoa, big spender here. Whoa.
Well, those were my retainers, and I'm kind of trying to find them. So I will have to run them down. But I am sorry for the trouble that they've caused you. I'll just take a mug of beer, please.
All right. He throws you a mug of beer. He's like, I wouldn't worry about your squires. I mean, all things that they're probably headed down to the festival. They're gonna follow the women, or hey, they could be into lads. I don't know. That's probably where they're headed, for all I know.
All right.
They're gonna go where the party's at. That's where you should be.
That's what worries me. All right. Well, I will take the beer with a grateful nod, and I'll scan the room to see if I see any of the Fireforge dwarves around.
You see, actually, a good chunk of them are in here, just having lunch, having dinner, sort of thing. You see a bard in the corner reciting some kind of an epic poem. You see a couple of half orcs. They're probably laborers of some kind.
Do any of the dwarves look especially talkative?
You can't really tell. They're just kind of talking amongst themselves, having a good laugh. You're the only human in here, actually.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll put on my friendliest face and stride up to one of the groups of dwarves, and
Okay.
I'll turn on the charm. Now, hail, good sirs! A fine day to you. It's unusual to see Fireforge dwarves this far to the south. What brings you to this area?
Gold, diamonds, ladies, and anything else under the stars and sky. What can I say? I'm seeking my fortune. What the fuck do you think brings me here? I'm on a job, man.
What? I forgive me the stupid question. I suppose that you were assisting in the construction of the town square here.
Yeah, that's one of the jobs. Some of us are working on the port. Some of us are building the sewer. Some of us are helping build, I don't know, some highfalutin asshole's new house. We're just
really?
keeping busy. Yeah, just keeping busy. Hell, even some of us are working on a new crypt, but you could not pay me enough platinum to go down there with carrion crawlers. Fuck and or that. Not doing it. No way, no how, no. Creepy as shit.
How so?
You see how many legs those things have? It's not okay. Not in the least. Plus they bite. He kind of pulls you in close. Have you ever had a carrion crawler bite you on your little tiny balls? No, you haven't, because you're normal sized. But when you're down on their level, they bite. They bite hard. Okay? You get me?
I do understand your meaning.
Good. I'm glad.
Is it just you gentlemen here, or any of the
Well,
ability down with you?
we're pretty much done for the day. We don't got anything else going on.
Just out of curiosity, has Lady Kathra come down to to assist with you gentlemen? Is she here as well, or is it just the worker?
Are you kidding me? No. She's got way better things to do than mess with us common folk. No. We're just the laborer class, man.
Well, I thought I would try. She is known to me quite well, you see. So this crypt that you refuse to work on, where exactly is it located, if you don't mind my asking?
North of town, you'll see a stupid house. Trust me, you'll know it when you see it. It's god awful. It's just a little bit north of there. It's in the back of the Church of Lathander. Just, I don't know, man. There's just a whole mess of carrion crawlers down there.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I will leave you to your drink and your merriment. And I pass him 3 gold pieces as I say, next round is on me.
Woo! Thank you!
Okay. And so with that, I'm going to trust that my retainers can keep themselves somewhat out of trouble for the night. I'm going to actually go back to try and track down the girls to give them the information that I found.
Back to the scene! Okay. So we find ourselves back at the Kilsh estate. It's now early evening, probably around 7 or 8 o'clock. And you're in Mari's library. So what have you guys been doing over the last few hours?
Books and the reading thereof.
Yeah, looking for any books about fiends and demons, looking for anything about the goddess that we can try and go through, looking for anything about the town.
Yeah. Anything about the goddess and her potential enemies, particularly among the forces of Hell and the Abyss.
Give me a history check, and this will be a difficult check, just because your information you're looking for is so specific.
Yep.
So I'm looking for high numbers only.
Come on, dice.
That is not a high number, no. 9.
I like words.
That's a 17. That's not awful.
So you do some reading. Mystara does have a number of enemies simply because she is the goddess of magic. In specifically, though, looking through the notes, you do find a few of the typical offenders who would definitely fit that particular profile. I'm just going to read their names if I could ever hit the right number on my fucking iPad here. And if it would load! Yes!
Isn't technology great?
It is. Stupid thing. Okay, so some of the names that have come up you've been looking are some of the demon lords. There's stuff such as the Queen of Chaos. There's Oxop, Dagon, Pazuzu, the Pale Knight. It could be any number of the demon princes definitely fit this kind of category. However, the more you read into it, give me a wisdom check. And I'll say you roll this with advantage.
Okay. 19.
You kind of wonder, just because of the dream you've had and this, you kind of wonder if there's a connection. And one creature, or one demon lord that fits the modus operandi of this is Pazuzu. That seems to be the one who looks like the thing from your vision, though his connection to this seems strange. You're like, why would you be here? So that's about the closest connection you've come up with. You wonder if it's Pazuzu, but it could be any of the other demon lords.
So is there anything else we can find out about Pazuzu?
You'd probably have to go to a more extensive library on that, or find someone who's more versed in demonology. So maybe anybody of the Holy Orders, the Church of Lathander or the Church of Mystara might have somebody, but Mari's library is pretty focused on magic spells, formula, and stuff like that.
Well, I'll make some notes then, and think we probably have a fairly a number one suspect, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you have a name, at least. What are you guys going to do now? It's probably about 8 o'clock. Mari is joining the rest of the Kilshas. They're going to go down to the town square and presumably kind of open the festivities for the night, so to speak, officially underway.
So are we now all together again?
Yes.
Okay, so then I think we ought to have a quick powwow here. So what did you girls find?
A demon lord.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Well, our most likely suspect is a demon lord, demon prince named Pazuzu. He's also occasionally known as Pazrael. He's the demon lord of flying creatures. And he looks like this, and I will turn one of the books towards you. Look familiar?
Oh yes, that was Captain Howdy from our mutual dreams last night.
Captain Howdy.
Well, I have some information that you might find interesting. One of the Fireforge ran down one of the Fireforge dwarves at the bar, and he mentioned that he and his men had been commissioned to work on a crypt that they refused to absolutely go anywhere near. And now, Lasari, you having met more than a few Fireforgers in our travels, you should know that anything that scares them is definitely worth looking into.
Hold on, hang on. No, I'm not getting this. A Fireforge dwarf refusing to go underground.
Indeed.
Does not compute.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that that's a likely avenue of exploration there. Does that jive with anything?
Do we know who this crypt was for?
He didn't give me a name, but he said that it was north of here, next to a house, and we'd know it when we saw it.
Interesting.
He would not say any more. And I bought him beer, so that tells you.
Of course you did.
That tells you how reticent he was to discuss it if beer couldn't loosen his lips.
Okay. Can we ask the Lord and Lady if they know, or have they already left?
They've already left for the festival.
That's a shame.
I would be, if I was some sort of demon lord and I was going to cause a lot of trouble for a town festival would be a great time to, say, send a possessed creature on a murdering rampage.
That's a very good point. Perhaps we ought to be bodyguards.
Yeah.
It may be to our benefit to go to this festival and keep an eye on things.
I agree. The crypt isn't going anywhere, so it's not time sensitive, but if something's going to go down at the festival, we need to be here for it.
I agree.
Okay, so what's your course of action?
I think we're going to follow the nobles.
Okay, so you make your way through the estate and towards the downtown area of Cambridge, and you arrive at the Festival of the Harvest Fall, and you see people, like I said, singing and dancing. There's like huge lanterns that light up the entire area. Lord Kilsh comes out on stage. He's joined with Lady Lorella and a bard, and he's kind of playing a song. They're reciting the epic poem of how Cambridge was founded. And Lord Braden says, "Friends, citizens," and anybody else I have failed to mention, welcome to the Festival of the Harvest Fall. I cannot express to you how much I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you who helps pay taxes. You keep me in beer and ale. Lorella just rolls her eyes. But I appreciate each and every one of you's contribution to help building, and he points towards the port, our wonderful port, which is going to have many ships in it, which means new jobs, new people, new friends to welcome in here. And those of you that build houses that house the poor and the sick, we cannot thank you enough for your generosity. Literally. It warms my heart nothing more than to see everybody here smiling. even though we all know something's wrong. And that's part of the reason why we're here tonight. We're here to celebrate the fact that not because things are bad. And I know there's been rumors in the streets. You've all been talking. I hear things. Lady Lorella hears things too. But I want to assure you, things are going to be okay. We're going to be stronger for this. The streets will run with copper, gold, platinum, and whatever else you desire. We will be the next Baldur's Gate. Waterdeep will soon look at us and say, "Ha! I wish we had what they had." And that day will come, my friend. With our good friends from Clan Fireforge, he points to a group of laborers, and they all sort of all raise their beer steins and go, "Ah!" And we're even trying to work with the wizards and the sorcerers of the south and the Kingdom of Ordo. Maybe they'll talk with us. We'll figure it out. And then, just as he's about to open his mouth to make another big, loud proclamation, the crowd falls silent. Is that so, Father? And you see Neslo walking through the streets, his eyes completely tore open, and you just see his skin appears to have, it's almost in an advanced stage of decay, or there's something wrong with him. And he's just clapping and mocking everybody. He's scaring children as he walks past them. He's parting his way through the crowd. The crowd is horrified. Because they know Neslo. Neslo would be the person who'd come down and help them out on certain jobs. He was a man of the people. He was well liked.
I'm going to move to intercept if I can.
I'm going to follow.
Forward.
All right.
I'm going to follow with shield at the ready.
All right.
Shield up.
You try to get in Neslo's way. And you are brushed aside with a wall of force. Just basically like Jedi tossed.
Ow.
You go sprawling into the crowd. He reaches the stage. The bard tries to stand up to him. He's like, "How dare you interrupt my performance?
Oh my god.
This is art!"
Oh, this isn't going to go well.
Neslo grabs him by the throat and twists his head on backwards. Bard drops dead.
I shout to the crowd, "Show's over, people! Everybody move!"
The crowd is frozen in fear. He goes, "Father, did you not tell them? The dream is dead. And now all of you are." The body starts convulsing. You see his limbs enlarge and grow. Skin tears. There's something vicious underneath it as the body tears away from what appears to be a human form into something demonic. You just see this stone-skinned creature just start roaring. He tries to take flight as these little wings sprout from his back, but he can't quite take flight, so he just starts roaring. The crowd panics and starts running. As this all happens, you hear something coming in towards the town square. You can see things coming out from behind the houses. You see an army of skeletons.
Oh, good. Zombie apocalypse
What
time.
have you done, Mike?
Girls, how boned are we?
I would like to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself.
Okay, you do.
I'm gonna draw my sword.
And the mace
And
is
so am I.
The town's guard, they're just so shaken, they don't know what to do. They've never encountered anything like this. They're trying to get close to Neslo to protect Lady and Lord Kilsh. And Neslo is just sitting there just mocking them. Do you not see what you have done to your very own townspeople? I know what you've done. I chose this, Father, not you. And I'm not the only one. You promised them a lie.
Mike, can I make an intimidation check on the guards to shout at them to get the nobles the hell out of here?
You can do so. You roll with advantage.
People out of here.
I roll with advantage? Okay, that
Yeah.
fell off
So
the desk.
roll again.
Okay.
This is why you use a dice tray.
15 with a +4 with a +4 proficiency, so 19 total.
The guards take your advice and they start shuffling people out as quickly as can. The skeletons are slowly moving in. They're trying more to intimidate as opposed to attack. They haven't attacked anybody yet.
Okay, turn the unholy time.
All right.
I'm
How
getting
does that work?
As an action, you can censor fiends and undead. Each fiend and undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On failure, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll. What's my target number for you?
DC 11.
Okay. I fail spectacularly. Neslo cowers in front of his parents, drops to one knee. This creature starts just... its skin starts to ripple and boil. And it starts just writhing and screaming in agony. And it's like, no! What are you gonna do? You've got it on the run, so to speak. The skeletons have stopped advancing.
Alisari, is there a chance that we might be able to save him, or is he too far gone?
We can try.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep back on my sword. You do what you got to do. If you need me to step in, let me know. I'm gonna try and keep these skeletons off our backs.
Okay, I'm gonna try and channel the divinity to see if I can save him.
Okay.
Your oath allows you to channel divine energy to fuel magical effects. When you use channel divine divinity, choose which option to use. You must then finish a short or long rest to use your divine channeling again. So I think it's kind of like I'm going to be doing a prayer to Tyr to try and save him.
Okay.
And rid his body of this terrible curse and this demonic influence.
Okay. Do you have to roll for that, or it just happens?
Some divinity effects require saving throws DC 11.
Okay, I'll roll it and see if I resist. And I fail spectacularly. So you channel your divine power. Neslo
Release
starts...
this child!
He starts screaming, and eventually this blood-curdling scream, you can just hear how wet and gross it is, starts turning into wet sobs as the creature starts to form back into a child, into Neslo's human form, with his eyes intact. And you just see this shadow split off from Neslo.
This is still
Walk-
This is great.
Walk up the side of the stage, takes full form into the bird creature you saw, into the form of Pazuzu. And this creature just looks you dead. It looks afraid of you.
I'm gonna point my greatsword at it and like, begone, demon!
You have won nothing. And then it just disappears. The skeletons outside just collapse into piles of bone.
So when you say he disappears, does he just go poof, or does he go off in a direction?
Yeah, he just disappears, just vanishes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out to the festival. We hope you enjoyed our Spook Night festivities. Tip your waitresses, enjoy the veal, and have a good evening. Let's get the nobles out of here and try and discuss what the hell just happened.
I'm gonna pick the lad up pretty much bodily and carry him.
Yeah, Neslo is passed right out.
Yep.
So, after about 20 minutes, you make your way back towards the Kilsh estate. Everyone has gone inside, their doors and windows shuttered and bolted. The city is in a grip of fear right now.
To be honest, inside with the doors and shutters bolted is probably the best fucking place they could be right now.
What, before I leave, I want to take a look at the skeletons that collapsed. Is it just like piles of bones now?
Yep, just piles of bones. It's like it's like everybody who's ever buried in the cemeteries was reanimated at once.
Okay. Yikes. I'm kind of worried that these things might, I don't know. Can I I want to just, for like flavor, like burn some incense over them and like pray to Paylor that they find rest?
You do. Some of the bones start to react as probably they were followers of Paylor, and the bones take on a less of a dullness, and they look shinier. So you can tell those spirits are at least at rest now. So you have accomplished some good.
Okay.
Are there any of the city guards nearby?
Yes, you do see the captain of the guards, which
All right, I call him over.
it's a her actually. Her name is Selena Merriweather.
Okay.
Or Fairweather, sorry.
Captain Fairweather, Fairweather? You said Fairweather?
Yeah, Fairweather.
Okay. Captain Fairweather, I realize this may be a bit presumptuous of me to tell you what to do your job, but I recommend keeping the people off the streets tonight, have everybody stay in their homes. And just as a personal favor, if you find 3 squirrely-looking gentlemen who look like they've had a little too much beer, if you could just send them to the Kilsh Estate, I'd appreciate it.
She says, I'll see what I can do, but first things first is making sure we don't have an undead problem in the morning.
That's going to be our task.
So.
Don't look at me, I'm knackered.
She takes her guards off, splits them off into various teams, and they begin taking care of the problem that is currently overtaking the city. Okay, so what's going to happen next in the city of Cambridge as presumably Pazuzu has now made his presence known? The Dreamstone is still missing. Neslo, the child, has been freed from demonic possession, but there's still a lot of questions to be answered. What's going to happen? I don't know! We'll find out next on Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. I've been joined with the Master of Ceremonies himself,
Dr. Gonzo?
the anime goddess,
The cat?
and of course, our good old English lass.
Skyblade.
I couldn't think of anything else. Anyway, I've been your game master, Mike the Birdman Dodd from thisweekingeek.net and terriblewarriors.com. We'll be back here next time on Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone.